Jaguars, WJXL AM and FM, Jacksonville Beach, 1010XL, home sweet home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you bleed teal and black, we've got your back. 1010XL 92.5 FM, home of the Jaguars. Now, the window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter on 1010XL from Island Girl Cigar Bar on Gate Parkway. Presented by Von Rowan Law. Here are your hosts, Ryan the Hacker Green, Leon Searcy, and Coach Campo.
He drops, four-man rush. Trevor scrambles. He is going to get sacked in the end zone. He is going to get sacked in the end zone by Alex Wright on the first play of the drive.
Frank Frangie on the call, Jaguars Radio, and with that, a very good Sunday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is the window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter. We are brought to you by Von Rowan Law with the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy, the head coach Dave Campo. I'm the hacker Ryan Green, coming to you live from Island Girls Cigar Bar out on Gate Parkway. This is a home game for Leon Searcy and myself. Call this the watering hole. We love Island Girls Cigar Bar. Wish we were coming to you under better circumstances tonight. Unfortunately, the Jacksonville Jaguars didn't give us a whole lot of better circumstances. The Cleveland Browns knocked them off today at Everbank Stadium, 18-13. And I just want to summarize in this, okay? The Jaguars lost a football game today to a team that committed 13 penalties for 100 yards. The Cleveland Browns were without their two starting offensive tackles, their Pro Bowl tight end. The Cleveland Browns put not one, not two, not three, but four defensive players who played for them 7 days ago in the opener on injured reserve. The Cleveland Browns quarterback got hit with a lawsuit that, if you read that thing, is really messed up. So he had to deal with that the entire week and getting asked about that.
Yep.
And despite all that, today the game starts. Amari Cooper drops a wide-open 30-yard pass down the field. The Browns force a fumble, but their kicker went over the 50-yard line to apparently now that's an illegal formation, which was news to any football fan watching, so they didn't get that fumble benefit. And the Cleveland Browns inexplicably threw the ball with 90 seconds to go, saving the Jaguars 40 seconds in the fourth quarter, and none of it mattered because Cleveland still wins the game 18-13.
Yeah, I mean,
with that, welcome in, Leon Searcy. How are you?
I'm feeling great. Absolutely, Hack. I appreciate it. You're fired up. I like that,
It was
bro.
ridiculous.
It is. Hey, listen, the unfortunate thing about the Jaguars is this: when your team is down, you come to Duval to get resuscitated. That's what happens. Because all those things that you just said, all of them to be true. I just saw this team go up against the Dallas Cowboy team that gave up 6 sacks, 17 pressures, couldn't move the ball, was ineffective on all three facets of the game, but comes in the now. Let me get this straight. It was a bad game on both parts.
Bad game.
You're talking about bad football. That was bad football on both sides of the ball. Neither team could move the ball effectively. We gave up big plays, and defensively we stunk it up on both sides of the ball. And that's what's unfortunate when you got a team that's coming in here in shambles, and we don't take full advantage of it, and we look at just as bad as they look.
Let me welcome in the head coach, Dave Campo. That was not pretty today at Everbank Stadium.
Well, the game was so ugly that I don't drink and smoke, but I guarantee you I'd like to grab a cigar and a Kentucky bourbon right now and finish this night off right here in this cigar bar. Let me just say this. That game was so ugly. This game was really ended with the first three drives of the game on both sides. Mm-hmm. You know, we couldn't get them off the field. They go 16 plays, and even in that one, it takes the passive penalty by us before they score a touchdown, or else they don't score there. Might have kicked a field goal. I can't remember exactly where they were.
Yeah, they would have. They were deep in.
Well, that's 3 points. That's a whole different ball game. And then from the second, then after those two lousy situations, we get the ball. We're on the 2-yard line, first and goal, and we get an illegal shift on a touchdown play. We have to kick a field goal. I mean, it's ridiculous how this game went, and it started right off from the beginning. We couldn't get them off the field. The offense couldn't do anything. They just made a bunch of bad passes and pressures. I mean, it was just ugly.
You can't lose a game like this. The Jaguars did lose a game like this. The Jaguars are now 3-6 in their last 9 home games. They're 1-7 in their last 8 games overall. Their only win came against the equivalent of a high school team in the Carolina Panthers. By the way, that team is awful. We've seen their first 2 games this year. Carolina is awful, and that's the only team Jacksonville has beat in the last 8 times they've played a game that counted. Very, very frustrating. You can see the frustration for Doug Peterson in the postgame presser, the frustration for Trevor Lawrence in the postgame presser. But here's the thing, Leon. You are one of the best offensive linemen that's ever played for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I will give you the floor here. I've defended Trent Baalke the entire offseason. I thought Baalke did a very good job, but the thought was, did he do enough on the offensive line? Well, not today he didn't. That offensive line was bad. Cam Robinson was not good. The interior offensive line was not good. Trevor did not have time to do very much. The running game didn't have time to do very much. Am I just media guy on the couch being too critical? I mean, what did you see?
Well, listen, Hack, I mean, this is not breaking news. We knew last year this team was horrible, especially up front of the offensive line, especially in the interior 3 of the guys. I thought the tackles would play a little bit better, and they haven't. They've digressed. The interior, the offensive line, it was one particular time while watching it, each drive, I saw each one of those guys. I saw Ezra Cleveland, I saw Mitch Morris, and I saw Brandon Sheriff get run over. Not knocked down, run over on pass protection plays. So, I mean, Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson told us all this offseason that we were good. He said that this offensive line is going to be one of the strengths. We don't need to make any changes. They just need to collectively play together. The more they play together, the better they're going to. He sold us a bag of goods is what he did. He sold us a bag of goods that this offensive line was good. And for the most part, not the most part, 80% of the games that they played, they've been bad.
And look, there's no one coming through that door, Coach, to help you. I mean, there's nobody on the street that's going to help you. The offensive line you got, it's the offensive line you got. You got to make do with it. But it was up the middle. It was around the edge. Now, Myles Garrett's going to get guys from time to time. But some of the other pressure that Trevor was facing today, I mean, you know, you pay the guy $275 million. At least you could protect him. Now, they drafted a first-round receiver who they don't throw the ball to until 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, which was fascinating to me. And by the way, the first time they threw him the ball, he had a 66-yard catch down the field. Here's a wild idea. Maybe throw the ball to Brian Thomas Jr. a little bit more.
It is legal, right?
But $275 million, and they don't have they don't have an offensive line to protect the guy right now.
That's the problem. I mean, you know, again, you know, when you're in a situation, you win up front. And I thought today on both sides of the ball, you know, we had a few opportunities to get the quarterback on the ground defensively, but by and large, we didn't put that much pressure on him, to be honest with you, especially with 2 backup tackles. Now, they did something that was smart. They put an extra tackle in at tight end in a lot of that ball game to be able to run the ball as well as they did. And really, they didn't run the ball all that well except for Ford. Ford made a couple of good runs and you know, got some yardage, but both sides of the line of scrimmage didn't do what they were supposed to do today, that's for sure.
You said something interesting. You're fresh back from the stadium. You were at the Doug Peterson press conference. You, obviously, a former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. You're part of that fraternity. You said when Doug Peterson met the media about an hour or so ago, looked like a guy that didn't have a lot of answers.
Yeah, and it sounded a little bit like last year, towards the end of the year when they were struggling. I mean, you know, he said he actually made the statement, I don't have a lot of answers right now. And it's got to be guys understanding that you can't have penalties. You can't have a situation where a guy has an illegal shift when you score a touchdown. There's too many situations where, you know, those points come back to hurt you. You know, you kick 3 instead of you take a bunch of 3s, you're going to get beat.
Oh, yeah.
You got to score touchdowns in order to win in this league, and we're certainly not doing it.
You being a former coach, there seems to be carryover from last year. This team stunk it up down the stretch last year, and this seems to be carrying over to the season. I mean, what does Doug need to do to make sure that this season is already unraveling? We're already starting off 0-2. How can he make the necessary changes or preparation to make sure we don't go down this road?
Well, you know what he said in the press conference? They asked him that, and his answer was, took him about 4 or 5 seconds, 6 seconds to answer the question. And the answer really for him was, which I can understand, we got to show them where they're making the mistakes, and you know, it's a team-wide thing. It's not just one. If it was one unit, you can get in there and get after them. But it's the entire team, the urgency, the delay of games, the penalties, those kind of things. Yeah. Somewhere along the line, Trevor said it, somewhere along the line, a player has to say, look, this guy's wide open. I've got to throw him the ball and get it there. So he said it himself. He said, and you can't have a back on an illegal shift when you throw a touchdown. When you get a touchdown pass, it can't happen.
Those are mental errors, Coach.
Yeah.
I mean, those are things that you work on in practice so you don't make these mistakes on Sunday.
Absolutely. It's really a mind-boggling because, I really, if I was Doug Peterson, I wouldn't have the answer right now either because this football team right now is dysfunctional.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Indianapolis lost today, Tennessee lost today, the Jaguars lost today, the Texans play tonight. The Texans are going to have the division wrapped up by Thanksgiving. I mean, the division's 0-6 with Indy, Tennessee, and the Jaguars. Texans are 1-0. They host the Bears tonight. Loaded phone lines. We'll get to you. We're going to take phone calls all the way up till 8 o'clock. But, Leon, we are at Island Girl Cigar Bar. You and I have broken bread here many, many times.
We have.
Man, if I had a quarter for every time I've been to Island Girl Cigar Bar on Gate Parkway, I would have a lot of quarters. There's no question about that. Your cigars are back in stock.
Absolutely. Sam, the owner here, has got the Big Sur's in stock right here. I can give you directions in the humidor if you like. If you go straight, you make a left to the second counter. That's me. Then you see the Big Sur's and the Little Sur's cigars.
All right, I'm going to get one right
now.
There
you go. Yeah. My favorite cigar is the Big Sur's.
That's right.
There's
absolutely.
no question about it. So come out and join us. Island Girl, Gate Parkway, right across from IKEA. You get the Leon Searcy cigars. And by the way, if they come out and buy a box of your cigars, you'll personally autograph it while we're here.
Absolutely. I'll autograph it and then take a picture with it.
That's outstanding. So we're going to be here till 8 o'clock, maybe a tad after. We'll see what happens, but we'd love for you to join us. Coming up next, Offensive Player of the Game, your phone calls as well on what is, well, it's an unfortunate start to the year. The Jaguars are 0-2 on the season, an 18-13 loss to the Cleveland Browns at the home opener. The Jaguars now 3-6, their last 9 home games. By the way, I hope you enjoyed seeing them. They're not going to be back here for the entire month of September. The next time you see the Jaguars, it'll be October when Indianapolis rolls in. Back-to-back road games, Buffalo and Houston. They're staring 0-4 in the face after what happened today. It is the Window World of Northeast Florida fifth quarter. We are presented by Von Rowan Law. Your phone calls next. 1010XL, 92.5 FM. It's the fifth quarter, and we roll on till 8 o'clock.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting.
This college football season, we're celebrating more than touchdowns. It's time to honor playmakers of the classroom. Thanks to FIS and the College Football Playoff Foundation, Gator Bowl Charities is surprising 16 local teachers with $1,000 each week. Every honored teacher gets a special invitation to the Taxslayer Gator Bowl January 2nd to be celebrated on the field. Teachers from Clay, Duval, Nassau, and St. Johns County, grades K through 12 are eligible. Nominate a deserving teacher today, and let's score big for education at TaxslayerGatorBowl.com.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. Through the Everbank London Getaway, one lucky winner and a guest will receive round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and a pair of tickets to see the Jags play in London. To learn more and for official rules, visit everbank.com/London. No person necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of 50 United States and D.C. 18 or older. Entry period for the Everbank London Getaway Suites is from 8/5/24 to 9/5/24. To enter in for official rules, alternate method of entry, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/London. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, let's talk about diamond cutting. How is a diamond price affected by the way it is cut?
Frank, that's probably the most important question asked about diamonds, because the trade-off between a diamond cut for maximum beauty and one that's not is the diamond's carat weight. You see, diamond cutters buy rough diamonds based on quality and weight. So as they cut the rough diamond, everything cut away affects profits. However, there's specific known cutting parameters, and each deviation from these means they have a heavier, less beautiful diamond. Unfortunately, a customer can't detect all those cutting imperfections. They need expert help. about a diamond's cut grade. You see, for any round diamond of a particular color, clarity, and carat weight, there are as many as 10 different prices that can vary by as much as 50%. At Underwoods, we look specifically at how a diamond's cut before we look at anything else, because it's the most important factor when it comes to a diamond's beauty, and to us, whether it should carry the Underwood name or not.
It's the Sporting Jacks Soccer Hour. Join Culpepper, Mauricio Ruiz, and Becky Burley as they discuss the latest in the world of soccer, including Sporting Jacks bringing pro men's and women's soccer to Jacksonville. Tuesday nights at 6 on 1010 a.m.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Hey, John, my dad, Randy Marion's gone absolute Cadillac crazy. You won't believe our Escalade lineup.
Well, how crazy we talking, Jennifer?
Buckle up, folks. We've got over 35 Cadillac Escalades.
35 Escalades? That's luxury overload.
I'm talking fully loaded models, cutting-edge tech, and that signature Cadillac style.
And the deals are even more luxurious. $4,000 Escalade loyalty rebate.
Plus 5% off MSRP on retired courtesy vehicles. Head to Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
Plus tax tag title $899 MNP and resist all.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a dandy, and do it today.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville, the window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter.
From Island Girls Cigar Bar on Gate Parkway.
Presented by Von Rowan Law on 1010XL.
With the head coach Dave Campo and the Pro Bowler Leon Searcy, the hacker Ryan Green with you, the Cleveland Browns, an 18-13 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Cleveland now 1-1 on the year. The Jaguars 0-2. I'm not going to even talk about silver linings. We did silver linings last week. I'm well past that at this point. But I will tell you this. We're not suffering alone. On social media and listening to Nashville radio right now, the Titans feel like they let another one get away. Tennessee's 0-2. And they got an Anthony Richardson problem in Indy. He was not very good today because Malik Willis and the Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love didn't even play, and Green Bay knocked off Indy. So the Colts are 0-2. The Titans are 0-2. We here in Jacksonville are 0-2. We'll see Houston tonight. They play Chicago. They're likely to go to 2-0 and have a stranglehold on this division only 2 weeks into the year. Every week here on the fifth quarter, we do give you an offensive player of the game. That offensive player of the game is brought to you by Universal Roof and Contracting. And R.J. Saunders, let's do it right now. The Universal Roof and Contracting offensive player of the game.
Universal Roof and Contracting presents the offensive player of the game. Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
All right, Leon Searcy, some weeks to do this are easier than others. We kind of had to think about this one, but we're going to give it to a guy that probably didn't know his number was going to be called until pregame warmups. Evan Ingram with a hamstring doesn't play. A hamstring. I mean, Tyson Campbell's on the IR with a hamstring. We haven't even gotten to that aspect yet. But Brenton Strange stepped in, 3 grabs, 65 yards. I thought Brenton Strange actually had a legit shot to catch that Hail Mary. I mean, he was there. No fault for not catching it because he had 3 guys on him. But 3 for 65. We'll give Brenton Strange the offensive player of the game.
Yeah, he had a nice game. Got open in a couple of man coverages, zone coverages, and like you said, he could have caught that Hail Mary. And he did some nice thing. And to be thrown in the fire after the pregame when Evan Ingram goes down, he has a pretty decent job, does a pretty decent job. Hats go off to him.
It looked to me, and again, I may be completely wrong. Got to watch it on TV. You guys saw it probably better than I did. But it looked to me like the one he they called he was out of bounds. It looked like he caught that ball inbounds.
He juggled it.
He did.
He did juggle it. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I couldn't see in the press box.
His feet got in, but it was moving. They would have ruled it incomplete.
Okay.
The ball never hit the ground, but it was one of those where it was rolling
when
on his
hit
arm.
The ground, it
yeah.
was moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how the NFL does it. Quickly. As a head coach, you lose one of your star players in pregame warm-ups. I mean, what does that do to the game plan? The game plan's in. You can't change it an hour before kickoff.
Well, and that is the case. And I think probably that's why Strange caught as many balls as he did, because they had plays dialed up with where he was the number one receiver and he had to do it, And, again, we were talking about this off the air. Doug made the comment, when they asked him what you can do to get this righted. He said, well, I don't have a lot of answers, but I know that, maybe we have to simplify things, but we're pretty darn simple right now. So maybe they need to open it up a little bit more so that they throw the ball down the field a little bit more. But I know one thing. I wouldn't do much 7-step dropping with this offensive line the way they performed in the first two ball games.
No, it's a real problem. No question about that. To the phone lines we go, live from Island Girls Cigar Bar on Gate Parkway. 641-1010 is the phone number on the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Let's go to the west side. Let's get Darren in here on 1010XL. Darren, what do you got?
Hey, guys. I'd like to say I need something to smoke. I'm not sure a cigar would do it, though, but that is nice of you, Leon, to sign that for everybody. Hey, guys, I went to the game today and sat in the rain and sat in probably the worst half of football offensively that I may have ever seen in an NFL game. Maybe I thought last year was San Francisco was the worst, but today took the cake. We've got Cleveland Browns injured players on the offensive line. Our defensive guys superstars that can't get in there to tackle. I mean, can't make a sack, can't make a play. Deshaun Watson looks like, just the all pro. Today, I don't know what these guys were feeling themselves, smelling themselves, or what, but I hope they go back and smell themselves tonight and watch the film, because they stunk. They stunk really bad, and as a fan, I don't want to see it. I don't want to go to a game right now, and I'm hardcore. I wear a big Jaguars tattoo on my chest, and I'm wearing it on my shoulders tonight. I'm very disappointed, and you know what? Somebody's head needs to roll, because I don't think Doug Peterson is calling these plays, and if he is, something needs to change, because if this ain't cutting it, guys, this ain't cutting it. You're going to lose your fan base.
Hey, Darren, appreciate the phone call. This is not hyperbole, all right? I have been fortunate enough to do the fifth quarter for a decade now. I mean, we've done it a long time. Obviously, I've been on sports radio since 2002, covering the Jags, was a fan long before. Honestly, that first half, and I think I even tweeted this, that's one of the worst first halves of football I can ever remember for an offense in Jaguar history. I mean, it was that bad. They had run like 8 plays with like 7 minutes to go in the first half. It was preposterous how bad it was. Literally, there was a time where their 3 best plays, one of them was an offsides by Myles Garrett to give them a first down, and one of their other best plays was the fact that Amari Cooper dropped the ball. The offense did nothing for the first 25 minutes of this football game.
And that's something you have to correct. I mean, you can't have that. Listen, I talked to coaches about this off the air, and I took a picture of it while I was watching the game, and I went back and see 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Trevor was 5 of 12 for 16 yards.
Yeah.
5 of 12 for 16 yards. This team collectively had 74 yards of total offense.
And it's a double whammy for me.
Yes.
I got Trevor in fantasy.
Well, they had more rushing yardage than we had total yardage.
Absolutely.
At the half.
You know what? I watched this game, and this team they're not mentally or physically tough. They can't. With all the mistakes that they made, like you talked about, the illegal procedures that they did, and then you have to throw passes on goal line situations because your interior offensive line can't block. This team is not mentally and physically strong right now, and I don't know how you can correct that.
Pass interference, roughing the passer, 2 of them, whether or not they're good calls or bad calls. You can't do that. You can't have an illegal shift. You can't do that. And they were just as bad as we were. How many penalties did they have? 12?
13 for 100. 100 yards.
And we lost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
they
again,
were 2 for 10 on third down.
Right. The Browns didn't play the Browns were not good today.
It was awful.
The Browns were not good. And the clock management by Kevin Stefanski, their head coach, to have Deshaun Watson roll out and for Watson to throw that ball and just gift the Jaguars 40 seconds. Again, the Browns were awful today, and they still won the game.
Yeah.
Former mayor of Jacksonville, Lenny Curry, always a fifth quarter listener here on 1010XL. Lenny, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I just called, no comment except to say 10 years listening to you guys. I appreciate you. I have no comment. I appreciate your tonic in these losses.
Lenny, appreciate it. Lenny's had a rough weekend with the Gators last night. And I said this earlier. I don't know what the football fans of North Florida did this offseason, but we obviously wronged somebody this offseason. 1-7, Florida State, and the Jaguars. 1-7. Now, Leon's living large with the U. You're 3-0. In large part, you haven't played anybody yet, but that's a separate issue.
See, you ain't had to throw that shot.
But 1-7.
We played y'all and beat you. How about that?
I don't think we're anybody. We're not anybody.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, but 1-7, including the Jaguars now at 0-2. And boy, when Lenny Curry's a very positive guy. When he gives you a no comment, that goes to show you everything you need to know.
Listen, when I was watching the Florida game, I said, Hacker is warming up for the fifth quarter.
So bad. I think Riley and Ortega, I believe, is next here on the fifth quarter on 1010XL. Riley, what's going on?
Hey, how y'all doing? Thanks for having me.
Sir.
We've been better.
Hey, by the way, Hacker, you're looking really good, man. I'm watching you on YouTube right now, and looking good. So there's
Thank
one
you, buddy.
positive.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, man, there's so many negative things to say. I mean, the number one most negative thing I would think of is I think Frangie sounds like she's getting cream pie in the mouth.
All right, we'll dump that. So again, it's a PG show, right? We'll go to PG. We normally like G, but we'll go PG. And Riley started off so good, right, with the compliment. Everything was great.
A wonderful compliment.
Yeah, maybe he was just buttering us up for what was to come. Unfortunately, let's go to Buffalo. Our guy Junior is on here on the fifth quarter on 1010XL. Junior, what do you got?
Hey guys. Another awful performance. And living here in Buffalo is not going to get any easier for me. It didn't get easy after not even the game on Thursday night was over, and I was already hearing it for this coming game against the Bills and Jaguars.
Are you going next Monday, Junior? Are you going to be there? Are you going to the game?
No way am I ever going to Orchard Park. No way. Only time I see a Bills-Jaguars game when I go down to Jacksonville. I'm never going to Orchard Park, New York to see a game. I don't want to end up in jail. There's too much talking that I'm not going to be able to handle, and I don't want to end up in jail, so I don't go there. It's just the lack of effort that came out on the game. I thought they were going to have some fired up guys coming out, and there was no effort, no fire in their bellies to win this game. And then to play like it's like a preseason game, like they just started playing. It was terrible. Where's the fire? I got to ask Mr. Cersei, when a team has to go in a locker room and there's a player that's going to be fired up and he's going to be the one to take charge in the locker room and they're going to listen to him, do we have that person? Because I know when you were playing, when you were strapping put the shoulder pads, the helmet, I knew you guys had guys in there that'll fire up that locker room. Do we have that here? Because if we don't, I don't know, then this season's over. Thanks, guys.
Junior, appreciate it. Leon, with you and Baselli and all the guys back in the day?
Yeah, man, we held each other accountable. I mean, if we were struggling and I'm not going to sit here and say that we didn't have moments of time and periods where we struggled, but we rectified it. We had those kind of conversations on the sideline to get each other fired up. You can't tell me that offensive line, their inability to run the ball and to protect Trevor, where they're having conversations like, fellas, we need to shore it up. And because if you see a guy struggling, you gotta call him out. You gotta hold him accountable. You can't be this coddling like it's gonna be okay next play. No, there is no next play. This play is the most important play, and this team right here, for whatever reason, they just look lifeless on. This is the home opener, bro.
Yeah.
This is the home opener of the 2024 season, and this is the product you give us on the field.
I got to be honest with you. Now, I thought the defense showed some fire in the second half, and the offense did a little bit. I mean, they were panicking, and I think they started performing a little well because they had to late in the game. But I was surprised. Being in the locker room earlier this week, they were saying all the right things. Yeah. You know, the loss last week, you could tell, bothered them. They wanted to get that out of their system. And to come out as lifeless and as flat as they did in this game against, again, not a very good Cleveland team. That Cleveland team did not play well today. Very surprising.
All they're doing is running their mouth. Don't talk about it, be about it. Yeah. Don't talk about it, be about it.
I said this a few times this week that if I was asked which game I thought we were going to have the better chance to win, I said the Miami Dolphins because I felt that they were a finesse speed team. And I wasn't sure about us against Cleveland. And I'll be honest with you, if Cleveland played a good football game, they'd have destroyed us today physically.
Agreed.
And I was concerned about that. I didn't realize Cleveland was as bad as we were going into this game. But from a physical standpoint, neither side of the ball physically played a great ball.
Think about it like this. Cleveland won, Leon, no Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
No David Njoku. Amari Cooper had 2 catches for 9 yards. Those are their 3 guys. Yeah. Chubb, Njoku, and Cooper, and none of them did anything.
Yeah, Judy
2
was
of them
the only
didn't
one.
even play. Yeah, and Cleveland still wins the game. You know what they're doing? They're laughing all the way home because they know they didn't play well.
No, they didn't.
And they came down here and got a road victory. Good for them.
Well, two teams are doing that because Miami should have lost that football game last week, and then they lost again.
Yeah.
So they're saying the same thing. They were laughing after our ball game, and they took a beating today.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, this team frustrates me because they don't answer the bell when the team across from them, when they up the ante and want to be physical. This team shudders. I mean, it almost goes in this shell. Instead of coming out, you know, if you're in a bar fight, you don't sit at the table and not pick up a chair. These guys, just in my opinion, when it gets tough, this team shallows in instead of answering to the bell, just like they did with the Dolphins last week. When the Dolphins, they had all the momentum, instead of us answering the bell and and owning it, this team just shudders, and it's unfortunate.
Let's get one more on this side, and we're taking calls all the way up till 8 o'clock. If you want to get in, there's room for you. 641-1010. We'll commiserate together on the Jaguars' 18-13 loss to the Cleveland Browns. Let's go out to the state of Alabama. We have Jonathan on. Jonathan, what's going on?
Hey, gentlemen, not doing too good. I'm telling you, this offense today looked like non-existent, basically. The only bright spot was the field goals. I mean, I want more touchdowns when we get in the red zone. I don't want field goals.
Jonathan, appreciate the phone call, and Cam Whittle even missed one. I mean, Cam Whittle makes that kick. It changes the complexion of the game. It's been a lot of negative, and we're going to get to the defensive player of the game in a moment. I will say this. The defense was good in the second half. I mean, the defense was good in the second half. The defense gave us an opportunity to win this football game. To me, this loss is on the offense because the defense, you allowed that 16-play touchdown, and that was the only touchdown the Browns scored the entire game, was their opening drive. The defense kept them out of the end zone for the next 48, 49 minutes of this football game. If you do that in the NFL, you should win.
Should win a lot of games.
So as bad as it was, and again, the defense gave up the yards, but you hold somebody to 16 points, really, 2 points because of the safety, that's winning football from the Jaguar defense. Just like last week was winning football for the Jaguar defense. So my question to you, before we step aside and get some more phone callers, is you talked about this, and you've talked about this for years with us. At what point does that become an issue? The defense feels they've played good enough 2 weeks in a row to win. The offense hasn't done a thing, and now the Jaguars are 0-2.
It's going to cause friction in the locker room. I mean, if the defense is holding your teams under 20 points and the offense isn't effectively scoring more than 20 points, then there's going to be some conflict. You're going to have those kind of conversations. When you're in the team meeting room, when you're in the weight room, when you're walking by guys' locker, I mean, the defense should. They should be telling the offense, hey, man, you need to step it up. Y'all got to be a little bit more accountable. I mean, we're getting tired out here.
The worst thing that we did today was in the red zone. We were 1 for 4, and they were in there 4 times. They were actually on the 2-yard line twice and didn't get in.
And
Kicked the field goal.
As sure as the sun will rise in the morning, the sun will set here in about an hour or so, the Jaguars' goal line offense will just never improve. I'm at the point now where I'm tired of talking about it. They're awful in short yardage.
We're outmanned, bro. We're outmanned. We were talking about this. They got dump trucks interiorly on their defensive side of the ball, and we have nobody that can move them.
Yeah. And that's on Balky, right?
Yes.
That is on Balky and the way this team was assembled. Marcus, Kevin, Michael, Daniel, all you guys hang in there. You'll be up on the other side. It is the window world of Northeast Florida. Fifth quarter. We're brought to you by Von Rowan Law. And Leon, we're live. Island Girls Cigar Bar out in Gate Parkway. Your cigars, the big services, are available. If they come out here and they purchase a box, you're going to autograph it. You'll get a picture with them. But along here with that at Island Girl, live music every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. You can watch every NFL game at Island Girl with the NFL ticket. You can enjoy beer specials every day, house old fashions for $8. I've come to Island Girl, this particular location, again, more times than I can remember. I love it. We call it the watering hole. You and I have broken bread here many times. This is like a home game for us. I know we're excited to be out here.
Absolutely. And the big search and the little search. You come in, you buy a box of either one. I'll give you an autograph and a picture to go along with it.
That is Leon Searcy. He's the head coach, Dave Campo. I'm the hacker, Ryan Green. Your phone calls next. Cleveland 18. Jacksonville 13. The Jaguars 0-2 on the year, and yes, they have now lost 7 of their last 8 games dating back to last season.
And now, the starting lineup.
The Drill Mornings. Jaguars today, 10 to noon. Helmets and heels. Noon to 2. XL Primetime. 2 to 4. The Frangie Show. 4 to 6. Into the night with Rick Ballou and Hacker After Dark. Evenings on 1010 XL.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank NA, member FDIC.
Injured in an accident that's not your fault? Don't worry, Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan at Von Rowan Law, and over the past 20 years, I have fought to recover millions for my clients throughout Jacksonville. If you've been injured in an accident, have mounting medical bills, can't work, don't worry. Zach's got your back. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve and will be there every step of the way. Go to Zach'sGotYourBack.com to set up your free consultation with me today. Zach'sGotYourBack.com.
Hey, sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon for MyBookie. Football is back. Winning season is back. MyBookie's here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big, and if it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. But that's just the beginning. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super Survivor and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for a shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus when you're ready to get started. Use my promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Remember, exclusive giveaways and bigger rewards. MyBookie is the lock of the century. Bet on anything, anywhere, anytime, and make sure your season is a winning one.
It's not just about relaxing. Fishing can be exciting.
That's a big fish in the box right there.
Captain Kevin and the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Veterans Wholesale Cabinets.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010 a.m.
The average cost associated with childhood cancer is a startling $833,000. This is Tom Coughlin, and September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Help the J Fund raise awareness to help our neighbors and community members tackling this devastating disease. Visit tcjfund.org/September for more information.
If you're searching for a new fence installation, challenge yourself to find a fence company with more positive online reviews than Superior Fence and Rail. With over 3,000 reviews and a 4.9 out of 5 review range, Superior Fence and Rail is, well, superior. So take the online challenge or let their professional team show you what superior service looks like. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com. 1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville, putting an extra 60 minutes on the clock. The window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter at Island Girl Cigar Bar on Gate Parkway. Presented by Von Rowan Law on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Island Girl Cigar Bar is our location on Gate Parkway for the window world of Northeast Florida. Fifth quarter, as always, we are presented by Von Rowan Law. All the calls tonight courtesy of the Garber Auto Mall phone line. With Leon Searcy and Dave Campo, the hacker Ryan Green with you. Every week here on the fifth quarter, we do give you a defensive player of the game. That defensive player of the game is brought to you by our friends at Superior Fence and Rail. Let's do it right now. The Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game.
Jacksonville's building a fence along the goal line. This is the Superior Fence and Rail Defensive Player of the Game. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
I do want to give an honorable mention to Monteric Brown, who I thought played a pretty good game today, all things considering, and for the injured Tyson Campbell. In fact, he had a team-leading 11 tackles. But we have consulted with the head coach and the Pro Bowler, and I tend to agree with them that Joshua Hines Allen is this week's defensive player of the game. 4 tackles, including a quarterback sack. I believe he hit Deshaun Watson on 4 separate occasions as well. Joshua Hines Allen, Foye Oluokun got home with a sack. They're getting to the opposing quarterbacks, guys, and that goes to show you again. I thought the defense played well, particularly in the second half, including Joshua Hines Allen, who's our defensive player of the game.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of times he could have had at least 2 or 3 more sacks just because the elusiveness of Deshaun Watson. He missed a couple of them and keeping him in the pocket, the frames of the pocket. But, yeah, he had a good game. You know, sometimes pressures are a lot more important than sacks, Coach, and that's often lineman talking. But I'm just saying, if you can affect the ball, you know, the quarterback throwing the ball, then that's a good thing.
Real quick, Coach, you're a defensive backs guy. That's how you buttered a lot of your bread for your assistant coaching and your coordinator days. No Savage, no Campbell. Cisco missed some time. He came back. They had to go into the depth of the DBs. How would you assess that unit played?
Well, first of all, I think Monteric Brown held his own, and I think he held his own. He started that last year. I thought he was, he's not a great player right now, but they literally had Prince out there. They had a bunch of people out there. They didn't kill our chances of winning. Let me put it that way. I thought Jarian Jones made a couple of plays. You know, it's again. Our defense is good enough to win if the offense will stay in the game. I mean, it was ridiculous what it went through in the first half. So, you know, to me, the only thing I would say defensively that I looked at in this game is that they are playing so much man coverage that when they do play zone, they're not playing it very well. The cover 2 has hurt them in a number. The last drive there where they hit the corner route on cover 2, they didn't even touch the receiver. No reroute on the receiver. They didn't get enough depth underneath with the underneath guy, and the safety didn't read routes on that side and get over the top of that thing. So I think from a secondary standpoint, that's not the reason we lost a football game. That's for darn sure.
No, I thought
I'll tell you what really hurt us defensively. Second down. When you look back at that game tomorrow, when you watch it again, first down they were pretty decent against the run. Second down, all of a sudden they weren't making plays. Look at how many third down and longs they had. 2 maybe out of the whole ball game, and one of them was a roughing the passer.
Yeah, no, it was bad. That was a bad aspect of it, no question. But like you said, they did not lose today because of the defense. They lost because of the offense, and they couldn't just do anything in the first half. Back to the phone lines we go, 641-1010. Let's go to the west side here on 1010XL. Let's get Marcus up. Marcus, what do you got?
Hey, thank you for taking my call. I have to agree with you. on the last comment. So my question, because I'm a little torn here and I really need some help. Leon and Coach, I really like your opinion on this. Just for the side you have, I'm putting a lot of this on Doug, and I'm just wondering the comments that he keeps making after the last two games. I personally believe he's blaming the players more than looking at his own self in the mirror and looking at that offense and how terrible it is. The play calling is so bad, I can script his first 15 plays because they run it so much. And every coach he plays against that has been on his staff is where we get beat up the most. That defense knew almost every play we ran before we ran it until we started scrambling in the second half. And maybe it's just me looking at it weird, but I'll take your comment.
Yeah, Jim Schwartz was his defensive coordinator in Philly when they won the Super Bowl. He was in D.C. with Cleveland today, and he had Doug Peterson's number, no question about that. We think it's Doug Peterson, right? We still don't really know who's calling the plays because that whole thing is ridiculous at this point, but your thoughts?
Well, last week the efficiency of the offense was pretty good. I think we ran the ball effectively. We play action. We took our shots down the field. The question you have to ask yourself is why, and we know what would happen. The ATM fumble kind of dismantled the whole game moving forward. But the question you got to ask yourself is why did we come out with that same energy in this game? All right, you essentially had the same players. Evan Ingram hurt his hamstring, granted, but I think Strange did an adequate job at the position. Had the same guys, had the same offense, the same plays, and a lack of efficiency. We did not. We had going 10 minutes into the third quarter. We had Trevor was 5 of 12 and 16 yards, and we only had 74 yards of offense. The question is why the efficiency in the Miami game and then the lack of efficiency in this game, and I can tell you what it is. The Cleveland Browns, the coach was talking about, the Dolphins team is a lot more finesse than the Browns team. The Browns team is like a bully in the backyard. They're going to be physical. They're going to come after you, and this team did not answer the bell when the opportunity was there. They got out-physicaled and out-mentaled throughout the whole game.
I somewhat agree with the caller from the standpoint that, he even said, maybe we're too simple. Maybe they're too simple. Maybe they're not diversified enough on what they're doing. But I agree with Leon. I don't think the urgency was there from the beginning in that ball game. You don't play that way in the first half. As much as we say the defense didn't lose a game, we couldn't get them off the field in the first half for a while. We played really well in the second half. Offensively, we did absolutely nothing, and we didn't have very many opportunities because we didn't execute. I will say this. When we ran any of the play action of the boots, they didn't have any problem with getting guys on the perimeter. They had a feeling for when we were going to do what. So maybe there is something to that we're too simple. Teams have got to read on us a little bit.
To burn 2 timeouts to avoid delay of games in the same
urgency,
in the same drive, in the same 3-play sequence. Again, that's something you see under the Friday Night Lights.
That's mental bust.
Yeah,
bro.
you don't see that in the NFL. That's ridiculous. No. Let's go to Savannah. Let's get Kevin in here on 1010XL. Kevin, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. The play calling is terrible. It's kind of nice to see some of the 10-10, not you guys, but I heard them on the first show after the game. They're talking about play calling. I know the fans, when they called in last year, mentioning the play calling was predictable and not good. It was all on Balky. It was all on the people running the plays. But he is so I'm saying it's Press Taylor is so pedestrian. The last caller was correct. It's easy. They know what we're going to do, and I, as a spectator, know what we're going to do, and it's really embarrassing. Bucky did a sideline report and said that Trevor is really excited and motivated, or I forgot how he said, was mad and talking up the sideline. Finally, after 9 games, he's getting mad. I mean, it's nobody on the team seems to really care. You've got to have people that don't want to lose.
Appreciate the phone call. And this will be a conversation as we move forward. It's not a conversation I have tonight, but I'm going to mention it. Make no mistake about what owner Shad Khan said to the team at the beginning of training camp. This team is ready to win now. I expect you to win now. I was not misquoted. And that means everybody, from the general manager to the coach to the players, I mean, when you give out, over $250 million? No, well over that. $500 million in free in contract extensions to Trevor and to Hines Allen and all these guys, and you come out of the gate 0-2 and you look lethargic on offense. I imagine Shad Khan is not a happy camper right now.
Well, let me answer the caller as far as the play calling. I've always been a proponent that the players play the game. And if you got the horses up front, it doesn't matter what you call because the execution is flawless. All right, you're beating the man up across from you. You're winning the one-on-one battles. So whatever players call is up to the players to execute and be accountable for them. All this narrative about the play call and play. If you got the horses up front, it doesn't matter what you play call because you know you're going to get the job done. Is there a play? Listen, the only play calls that should be made when you're within the 5-yard line going in the end zone is dive. Run the ball in between, but because we don't have the interior push, we got to be all elaborate and all these other different things that we got to do to try to get the ball in the end zone. If you have the horses up front, the play caller don't mean a damn thing.
Yeah. Let's quickly get back to the phone lines. Again, if you're on the line, we'll get to you. We're with you till 8 o'clock tonight. Let's go to Fernandina. Let's get Michael in here on 1010XL. Michael, what's going on?
Hi, Coach, Big Sir. It's good to see you guys, man. Hopefully I can see you guys next time you come up to Macama. I'm typically the positive guy, but I've got to know, who do y'all want to be the next head coach when we miss the playoffs this year? Belichick, Vrabel, heck, even you, Coach Campo. Get back on the horse, baby. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, look, that conversation's going to pick up. Now, it's September 15th, right? Mm-hmm. So now is not the time. It's 2 games in. Again, this team was 4-7 2 years ago and made the playoffs. This team was 8-3 last year and missed the playoffs. The season is not decided in 2 games. But if they don't make the playoffs after the owner went public with what he said and doubling down on it on that video on Jaguars.com, the hunt, it's not going to be good for some people, including probably Trent Baalke and Doug Peterson.
I think you're probably premature right now, even if we don't make the playoffs. I really think that they've made enough bad decisions on coaches here that you give a little bit more leeway on that. But I think it's too early to even talk about that. With the Cowboys, we were 0-2 and won the Super Bowl. So, I don't think we looked as bad as we did today.
That's Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin and Troy
we had
Aikman
some
on
guys,
this team.
just like Leon said, we had some horses to win with that group. Yeah. So it's time for the guys that are supposed to be good to show up. Kirk is supposed to be good. Trevor is supposed to be good. Let's go. Number 7, they threw the ball twice. 4 times. He caught 2 balls, and one of them for 66 yards. Get him the football.
Yeah, here's
Let's
a
go.
wild idea. You drafted a guy in the first round. I don't know, maybe throw him the football.
Yeah.
Thought. Yeah. I could be the play caller, right? That's not that difficult.
That's why I'm with the guy might have had a little bit of something with, are we being too simple here? Let's get the ball to the guys that can win games for you. That's the key.
Let's quickly get to the special teams player of the game. Every week here in the 5th quarter, we do bring you the special teams player of the game. It's brought to you by Crown Royal. I imagine there's some of that being consumed in the city tonight after an 18-13 loss today at Everbank Stadium. But the special teams player of the game, here it is, presented by Crown Royal.
Now, it's time to showcase the Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game. Live generously and life will treat you royally.
We'll give it to Logan Cook. Again, same as last week. Logan Cook, again, was nothing short of sensational. It's bad when the punter is one of the highlights of your team, but the Jaguars have one of the best punters in the National Football League. He averaged well over 50 yards a punt today for the 2nd week in a row. And Leon Searcy, Logan Cook is your Crown Royal Special Teams Player of the Game.
And he should be. I mean, he probably was the MVP of the game, to be quite honest with you, the way he was able to flip the field. Even though we didn't do anything about it, but it was good that he did have some good balls in the game.
I think our coverage teams have been really pretty good.
Yeah, they've been solid.
Other than that, giving up a hit on number 4.
Oh, Bigsby. Oh, man.
But overall, teams have not moved the ball very well on the special teams against us, and I think that's good. Guys like number 11, does a nice job.
Parker Washington.
Yeah, the outside linebacker that everybody's upset with. That's playing a little bit from last year, the 4th round pick.
Abdullah.
Oh, Yasir Abdullah. Yeah.
Abdullah's playing pretty good. I mean, they've got some guys. I think we might be better on the special teams than we are in the starting 22.
By the way, Tank Bigsby, really good job last week running the ball. before you even give him a chance to let him run the ball, you put him back as a kick returner, and he gets absolutely annihilated and misses some of the game because of a shoulder injury. I don't know. I mean, you got Devin Duvernay and Parker Washington and guys of that sort. You really need Tank Bigsby back there returning kicks if you're going to use him in the offense.
Listen, after that hit, he needs to turn to a little resignation.
Yeah. I'd much rather see him running between the tackles and not running back a kickoff.
He got smashed, bro.
Yeah. Window World of Northeast Florida brings you the fifth quarter. We're presented by Von Rowan Law, live from Island Girls Cigar Bar in Gate Parkway. Come on out and say hello. Leon Searcy, the Big Sirs and the Little Sir cigars back in stock here.
Absolutely, in the humidor. You go straight and make a left on the second shelf. Big Sirs and Little Sirs, right there.
We'll be out here once a month, including tonight, once in October, once in November, and once in December. Island Girls Cigar Bar. Leon Searcy and myself, this is a home game for us. We're up here a lot watching football. Come join us for football once a month here on the fifth quarter. More of your phone calls next as we reminisce about a Jaguar 18-13 loss to the Cleveland Browns.
Your car is like part of your family. It takes you to work, drops the kids off at school, goes with you on vacation. You feel safe in your car, but all that can change in an instant due to someone else's carelessness. Now you need money for medical bills, car repairs, lost wages. You need help, and you need it now. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us at 396-5555. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family since 1979. Jacksonville.
Wow, John, my Clearwater sprinkler system looks great.
All right, Frank, let's go ahead and program your Rainbird timer. How many minutes do you want the zones to run?
John, I think we run from the front 20, the sides 15, the back 10, the garden 5. Clearwater scores!
Well, that's a first, Frank, but you're the boss.
Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers.
And drainage to
ClearwaterJacks.com.
We're back. Mia here, and winning season is back. Football is back, and MyBookie is here to make sure you're ready to cash in on the action. This season, MyBookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions, like weekly risk-free boosts on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, forget it. MyBookie will refund your wager. That's just the beginning, folks. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super Survivor and Squares contests. Get your entries in now for your shot at huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they are bringing back the double deposit bonus. When you're ready to get started, just use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus that doubles your money on your very first deposit. You heard that right. Double your money with promo code 1010XL before you even place a bet. Not to mention, loyalty pays off with MyBookie Plus. The more you play, the more you win. Climb through tiers of loyalty rewards programs to unlock even more epic promotions. Only with MyBookie.
The station that covers the Jaguars day in and day out. WJXL AM and FM, Jacksonville Beach. This is 1010XL, home of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. At Terminix, we know how to stop termites. These destructive pests have been around for millions of years, but before they show up, so do we. And their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem? Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
When they were little, the other girls played with dolls.
Aww.
They played with footballs.
Who them? Yes, it's us.
Helmets and heels.
From the First Coast Lighting Studios at 1010XL.
Weekdays noon to 2.
Some girls have all the fun.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. Through the Everbank London Getaway, one lucky winner and a guest will receive round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and a pair of tickets to see the Jags play in London. To learn more and for official rules, visit everbank.com/London. No person necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of 50 United States and DC 18 or older. Entry period for the Everbank London Getaway Suites is from 8/5/24 to 9/5/24. To enter and for official rules, alternate method of entry, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/London. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank NA.
This college football season, we're celebrating more than touchdowns.
It's time to honor playmakers of the classroom. Thanks to FIS and the College Football Playoff Foundation, Gator Bowl Charities is surprising 16 local teachers with $1,000 each week. Every honored teacher gets a special invitation to the TaxSlayer Gator Bowl January 2nd to be celebrated on the field. Teachers from Clay, Duval, Nassau, and St. Johns County, grades K through 12 are eligible. Nominate a deserving teacher today and let's score big for education at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
A customer called DuckDuckRooter saying they had some nasty stuff backing up inside their home. So we went with our camera to look inside their plumbing lines. And sure enough, tree roots in the sewer line. Need to see what's blocking your lines? Call our team to locate the issue and provide solutions to resolve it. 904-862-6769. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jags. DuckDuckRooter, your fully insured and certified plumbing contractor, residential and commercial.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is the window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter.
From Island Girls Cigar Bar on Gate Parkway.
Presented by Von Rowan Law on 1010XL.
Yes, it is. Glad you're with us. Again, the Jaguars fall 18-13 to the Cleveland Browns. To keep you updated on the late games, the Arizona Cardinals are absolutely destroying the Los Angeles Rams. 41-10 was my last count of this game. Arizona, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s had an enormous game. He had a $130 and 2 touchdowns in the first half. Pittsburgh 13-0 over Denver in the third quarter. In a back-and-forth game at Arrowhead, Kansas City leads Cincinnati 17-16. Houston plays tonight, and again, I don't even know why I'm doing this, but I'm just going to mention it. Houston, I mean, you could be up 2 games and change if you're the Texans after 2 weeks. The Colts are 0-2. The Titans are 0-2. The Jaguars are 0-2. Houston with a home win tonight over Chicago, and they're a big favorite, would be 2 games clear of the rest of the division, only 2 weeks in to the season. Every week here on the fifth quarter, we do give you a play of the game. That play of the game is brought to you by Performance Painting. RJ Saunders, let's do that right now. The Performance Painting play of the game.
Now, the Performance Painting high performance play of the game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Coach, the play of the game was Brian Thomas Jr. They finally threw him the ball, 66 yards. He caught it. He ended up with over 90 yards receiving. He only got targeted 4 times. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I don't care what they do against Buffalo, all right? Lose 50-0 for all I care. But throw the ball to Brian Thomas Jr. more than 4 times. They've got, look, we want to find the open guy and spread the wealth. You're 0-2. I'm done with that. You drafted this guy in the first round. Throw him the ball. Brian Thomas Jr. with the play of the game.
Yeah. I mean, the guy's talented. He's shown that he can be a number 1 receiver in the league, in my opinion. It just, again, it behooves the coach. That's why you're talking about the coaching, making calls. I hate to blame the coaches, too, because I was one, and I made some mistakes, obviously. Mm-hmm. But really, it comes down to, in the receiver core, he was open a number of times. He did not get the ball. I can tell you that today. So, you need to get him the football somehow.
Yeah. What good is a Ferrari if you don't drive it?
Right.
You got to drive it. You got to
he had one where it was a really good run after catch. So, get him the ball.
Give him the ball.
His college teammate today had 18 targets. Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
Wow. First-round pick. Why can't we do that with BTJ?
Yeah. Malik Neighbors did very well. Here's another one, too. Christian Kirk, 1 catch for -1 yard.
Absolutely.
You're paying Christian Kirk a ton of money. Remember the entire offseason. Oh, that Christian Kirk was the missing piece. That's why the offense went to heck last year when Christian Kirk got hurt. And that was a good talking point. I agreed with that talking point, but my gosh, they're not throwing him the ball either.
Well, he seems uninterested. He's allowing himself to be covered. I mean, Christian Kirk back last year, before he got injured or 2 years before that, it didn't matter, man, zone, whatever. He's finding those pockets. He's getting those catches. He's making it difficult. Whatever's going on with him mentally, he needs to rectify it because he's much better than the way he's playing the last couple of games.
And you know what they're going to say? You know what the offensive guys are going to say? We didn't have the ball enough to get, I don't know how many plays they had, but last week they had very few, and this week I don't think they had very many.
That's what happens when you go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out.
It's as much their fault as it is the defense's fault.
Yeah. Back to the phone line, 641-1010. Let's go to the south side. Let's get Mimi up here on the fifth quarter on 1010XL. Mimi, what's going on?
Evening, gentlemen. The whole thing is that everyone right now is responsible for the situation. That's coaches, players, GM, everybody. So in each one of your opinions, what can be done to turn this thing around at this point in the season? And I'll take the call off the air. Thanks so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mimi. From a general manager point of view, not much because there's nobody to go get. The hay is in the barn, man. Your bed is made. Now you got to lie in it. Your job is to build this roster, and I think Balke did a good job. I'm curious as to why your second-round pick was inactive today. I didn't really get any clarity on that. And, look, injuries are accumulating. You were without Tyson Campbell. You were without Darnell Savage. Evan Ingram has a hamstring. We'll see the severity there. Gabe Davis got hurt towards the end of today's game. We're going to see about that depth. I think it's a deeper team than last year, but the depth is being tested. From a player standpoint, Leon, you just got to play better, right? I mean, isn't that what it basically boils down to?
Yeah, I want to see what kind of resolve this team has. Tyson said everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. Well, they've been punched in the mouth the last couple of weeks. One game last week they definitely should have won. This game right here, as bad as they played, they still had an opportunity to win this game. And that's the most frustrating thing about it. It could have been a situation where we had an ugly win. We was in a situation where this could have been our ugly win, and we didn't make it happen. So I want to see, at some particular point, you got to draw your foot in the line in the sand and say, hey, listen, enough's enough. And I'm not saying a players only meeting. I'm not saying pushing the panic button right now. But what I'm saying is that you got to hold. Don't let yourself be the problem. I always say that. I always had that resolve when I played. Don't let you be the problem. And offensively, that's what we're doing.
And be prepared, Coach, to be scrutinized. They're on national TV next week for Monday Night Football. Mm-hmm. It's going to be Trevor's not a top 5 guy. They overpaid Trevor. They overpaid Christian Kirk. What are they doing? Doug Peterson. If they lose this game, are people going to start talking about him? The Monday Night Football thing is just an added thing this week on an 0-2 start.
Well, I can speak from a coach's standpoint and answer to me. It's Mimi, right? That called
yes.
Mimi, I can tell you this. Even Trevor, in his pregame or postgame press conference, made the comment, lack of urgency and guys being accountable. So when it comes right down to it, somehow the assistant coaches got to get in these guys' faces and say, hey, look, we're paying, we're not making what we're getting paid. And so it's time to get going. And without panicking, we're good enough in this room to do things, but we're not doing it. So what do we need to do to get it done? It's just as much the players as it is the coaches.
Let's go to the north side here on the fifth quarter on 1010XL. Let's bring in Zach. Zach, what do you got?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I was listening to your conversation earlier. Y'all were saying it's too early to talk about doing something with Doug Peterson because he's only 0-2. I look at it a little different. I think he's like 0-6 or 1-7. And I'm not sold on the guy. And I think if he was really that good, Philly wouldn't have let him go. And why was nobody else pursuing him besides Jacksonville? I'm going to make this quick. And also, I think it's time to start looking at Press Keller. And this is a question. If Trevor Lawrence only has 16 yards in the first half, why not look at Mac Jones for the second half?
All right, appreciate the phone call, and we knew that was coming.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
Trevor Lawrence, look, I've been very critical of Trevor to the point where people have been critical of me last year. I got a lot of grief over that. To me, this was not Trevor's fault today. Did Trevor play great? Did he look like a $275 million guy? No, probably not, but it's kind of hard to look great when your receivers aren't getting open, you can't run the ball, and your offensive line's not blocking a lot of people. Trevor was average today. I don't think he was the reason they lost the game.
Well, listen, the realest thing he said in his press is that we sucked, and he's along in that sucking part.
He was not good.
He was not good at it. And there's a couple of overthrows and misthrows by Trevor as well. As much as you want to attest to the offensive line play and the inability to run the ball and protect and all that kind of stuff, I've seen quarterbacks, in spite of bad play by the offensive line and all that and still make things happen. By the way, I'm watching him on TV right now, Patrick Mahomes. All right? He doesn't have an elite offensive line. He doesn't have guys. I mean, he does have Pat. He has a decent running game. But I'm saying that Trevor. I'm just saying that if you want to put Trevor in those kind of conversations, can't make excuses for him. You know, you can't powder his butt and rock him to sleep.
Powder his butt?
Yes.
Nice.
You can't powder his butt and rock him to sleep. He got to let him walk on his own. And when he sucks along with the team.
Coach, what was your assessment of Trevor today?
Well, I can understand the frustration of the fans, and I can understand. I made a comment myself that there were a couple times in the last ball game where he held the ball too long. Well, he did the same thing a couple times today.
He did do that.
When the guy's not open, get rid of the ball. That's all he has to do. He is not willing to do that at this point. Now, do you go to the backup quarterback? Absolutely 100% no. Because the guy just has to get it in his mind that he has to do certain things and how he's got to do it. And it's up to him to figure it out. He goes in a press conference and says, hey, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm throwing myself under the bus as well. So figure out a way to whatever he has to do to get himself right. That's the coach's responsibility, and that's his responsibility. But you don't go to the backup quarterback, because once you go to the backup quarter, you never come back.
And Coach, let me ask you a question. When it comes to all the mistakes that we're seeing made by this team, not only physically but mentally, I'm a proponent that what's allowed in practice transcends to what you see on Sundays. So I'm just saying, with this coaching staff, when it comes to guys' illegal procedures, guys not doing, I think that they, like you said, these assistant coaches got to hold these guys accountable the week of the games, so you can't have these kind of mental lapses and these physical lapses that this team has been having over the last couple of weeks.
See, that's a lack of discipline, in my opinion. So that is on the coaches, in my opinion. If you're getting beat because the quarterback takes a sack, because the offensive guard didn't block a guy, what are you going to do as a coach? You got to work the guy, work him, make sure it doesn't happen. But when you're getting penalties and you're getting number 26, that penalty pass interference,
roughing the pass.
It wasn't roughing the passer. It was roughing the passer after the play. Yeah. When he comes up behind the guy and pushes him on the ground.
It was a terrible play.
That's lack of discipline.
It is.
And so the coaches have to be accountable for that. But the player has to know what the heck he's doing, too. I mean, a guy's got to be stupid to make that. That's stupid. Now, the other roughing the passer, I don't even know if it was roughing the passer, to be perfectly honest.
It's because what they said was Devin Lloyd lowered the head. It was the crown of the helmet right in the sternum. I agree. I agree. That's just
terrible call.
I thought it was a terrible call.
But that was the least of our troubles.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let's get one more in before on this side. Again, we're with you till 8 o'clock. If you're on the line, we will get to you. Let's go to my neck of the woods, to Mandarin. Let's get Leo up here on the fifth quarter on 1010XL. Leo, what's happening?
Hey, thanks, guys. I'm really not happy, man. I'm embarrassed again. Always embarrassed with this football team. And, real quick, we always talk about these football players when they get their money. They get their bag, and he got this money, and this player got this money. What about when the owner get the money from the city, right? And I don't believe him, by the way, right? Coming out saying all this little stuff. He's a liar, too. I don't believe him neither, because ever since he first got here with this team, he was threatening to leave this city. Threatening. Now they gave him what he wanted. Did anybody ever ask him, hey, man, are you going to win at the house? Can you promise or can guarantee some consecutive wins at the house? Nobody probably asked him that. Just give him whatever he want, but we get on these football players when they get the money and they don't do nothing. I'm just disgusted, because I don't know why this joker or this team has not been building an offensive line before you got your quarterback. They built this team backwards. And yeah, man, they got a lot of deficiencies, because when you close your eyes, it just looked like the same old team that has been from years past. You can just shut your eyes. It could be Blake Bortles and Doug Marrone for all I know. It looked like the same old stuff. Different ways to lose. It's just disgusting, and I can't stand it. I thought we were past this. We're not past this. This is in our DNA. This is who we are, losers.
Hey, we appreciate the phone call. One thing there. Look, there's plenty of people to criticize, and perhaps Shad Khan has hired the wrong people in charge. That's your opinion. If you want to criticize Balky and Doug Peterson, what Shad Khan has done for this city if you want the NFL here, if you want the Jacksonville Jaguars to be here with that stadium of the future that's coming, with the investment he's made with Trevor Lawrence and Hines Allen and Tyson Campbell and the dollars they've spent in free agency and everything he's done, there are a lot of people that deserve criticism tonight for an 0-2 start. I don't think I would criticize Shad Khan very much unless you want to criticize the people that he's put in charge. Then there's criticism. Yeah. But don't give me this about what has he done for this city. No. Shad Khan has done an unbelievable amount for this city.
Yeah, I agree. But I can understand what the caller is saying. The product looks bad. And he said, the caller is saying that I thought we were over all this bad Jaguar football, with the hiring of Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence getting his new deal and all that kind of stuff. I can understand the frustration.
Yeah, it is frustrating.
It is very frustrating because going into the season, I mean, we've been last year and this year, we were sold a bag of goods. We were told how great this team was, how Trevor's going to make that next go to that next level, how we're going to be good here on defense and stuff like that, and we've been underwhelming the last 2 weeks, and that's what's frustrating with everything to play for.
1 touchdown pass in 8 quarters.
Yeah.
With the way the NFL is today, designed for offense, the Jacksonville Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence have 1 touchdown pass in 8 quarters.
Yeah,
that has got to improve.
I think you have to criticize the quarterback just as much, but when it all comes down to it, if he's not protected, he is not one of those guys he's not a Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. He's not a Mahomes.
Not Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. He has to have, it's like Warren Moon said on prime time. It's dependent on things. It's the most important position, but it's dependent on things. Mm. And that offensive line has to play better, or else we're going to have a rough season.
Brandon, Michael, Harvey, the rest of you guys hang in there. We'll get to you coming up on the other side. We also have to get to a drive of the game as well. That'll be relatively simple when you only have 1 offensive touchdown, but we will get to the drive of the game coming up in just a moment. As the window world of Northeast Florida 5th quarter rolls on, as always, we are presented by Von Rowan Law. And Leon, we're live at one of your homes away from home, right? Island Girl Cigar Bar, and they have your cigars here in stock.
Absolutely, one of the best cigar lounges in Jacksonville. I just had one of the listeners of the 5th quarter. He went in there and got him a little Sir cigar. He's enjoying it right now. So, yeah, absolutely.
I love them. That's all I get when I come here. No question about it. Live music every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday night here at Island Girl on Gate Parkway. You can watch every NFL game with the Sunday ticket. Beer specials as well. They have everyday household fashions for $8. It is a great place to watch sports, a great place to come relax, and a great place to come listen to us on the 5th quarter right here, Island Girl Cigar Bar on Gate Parkway. More of your phone calls next. Cleveland 18, Jacksonville 13. The Jaguars now 0-2 to begin the 2024 season.
There's a reason why people love to listen to play-by-play on the radio.
This is unbelievable what we're witnessing. I'm serious.
1010XL, Jacksonville's home for play-by-play.
Bueller Air & Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's contestant, a dust bunny breeder from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Steve Johnson. Welcome to the show, Steve.
It's great to be here, Alex.
Yeah, you don't have to answer it in the form of a question, Steve.
What is this game show?
See, that's another question.
Are you going to ask me about air conditioners?
Yeah, okay. How about we just send the Bueller guys over and you can annoy them with all your questions? Johnny?
That's right, Steve. Bueller Air & Plumbing can answer all your air conditioning questions, repair options, replacement models, and how to make your AC last longer while saving electricity, making sure you are cool.
Where is the parking lot?
You're killing me, Steve.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Okay, you've decided it's time to sell your home. How do you go from a problem to a promise? Listen, there are problems that come with selling one's homes, but with the promise of ChadandSandy.com, you're going to get there, and you're going to get there in the best possible way. You see, here's the promise. Your home sold, guaranteed, or they will buy it. So go to chadandsandy.com. Listen, lots of stories of proof out there. We're going to get to those in just a second. But maybe you need more space for your office or growing family, or you're worried about costly repairs. Chad and Sandy are the local real estate experts you can trust. We recommend them for the sale of your home. They guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price. By a deadline or they'll buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts. You get it all with Chad and Sandy. Don't believe me? Ask Stephen and Marlene in Eagle Hammock. We needed to move quickly to Ohio to be with family. We heard about Chad and Sandy on the radio, and all we heard is true. Call Chad and Sandy today or go to chadandsandy.com.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, John, my dad, Randy Marion's gone absolute Cadillac crazy. You won't believe our Escalade lineup.
Well, how crazy we talking, Jennifer?
Buckle up, folks. We've got over 35 Cadillac Escalades.
35 Escalades? That's luxury overload.
I'm talking fully loaded models, cutting-edge tech, and that signature Cadillac style.
And the deals are even more luxurious. $4,000 Escalade loyalty rebate.
Plus 5% off MSRP on retired courtesy vehicles. Head to Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
Plus tax tag title $899 MNP and resistol.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Jags Hall of Famer Tony Baselli puts on his gold jacket every Monday morning at 7:20 on The Drill.
Does look good.
It's Hall of Fame Monday with Tony Baselli.
Good? It's great.
Brought to you by Heritage Roofing of North Florida on 1010XL.
When you're behind the wheel of your car, you expect a safe journey. But what if the other driver's careless and you're injured? The responsibilities and demands on your spouse just doubled. You suddenly can't work. So what happens to your family's income? And by now, the emergency room and medical bills may be sitting on your kitchen counter. You've got some problems, and we want to hear about them. Call us at 396-5555. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family since 1979. Office, Jacksonville.
Hey, Jaguars fans, as the official whiskey of the NFL, it's not a kickoff without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. And that's why we've built the Crown Royal Rig. An absurdly awesome 18-wheeler delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal Rig on its journey from city to city, bringing together local cuisine, NFL legends, and the opportunity to pack a purple bag for charity and win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more, and please drink responsibly.
The average cost associated with childhood cancer is a startling $833,000. This is Tom Coughlin, and September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Help the J Fund raise awareness to help our neighbors and community members tackling this devastating disease. Visit tcjfund.org/September for more information.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called The Vault. Enter today at everbank.com/shadows. One winner and a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents in 50 United States and D.C. 18 and older. Entry periods for the Shadow Sweepstakes promotion from 8/19/24 to 12/15/24. For official rules and complete details, visit everbank.com/shadows. Sponsored administrator, Everbank N.A. member FDIC.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Bringing you an extra quarter of football.
The window world of Northeast Florida, fifth quarter. From Island Girl Cigar Bar on Gate Parkway. Presented by Von Rowan Law on 1010XL.
ETN, the running back. They run it with ETN again toward the goal line. Touchdown! A 4-yard touchdown run by Travis Etienne, and the Jags in the end zone for the first time today.
Frank Frangie on the call, Jaguars radio. Travis Etienne with the touchdown, gave the Jaguars some momentum. Unfortunately, the momentum did not last as the Jaguars fall to Cleveland 18-13. Every week here on the fifth quarter, we do give you a drive of the game. That drive of the game is brought to you by Randy Marion Cadillac. RJ Saunders was let's do it right now. The Randy Marion Cadillac drive of the game.
Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac drive of the game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
Leon Searcy was short and sweet. 3 plays, 72 yards. That's what happens when you have a 66-yard pass included on the first play. But that was the touchdown drive. 3 plays, 72 yards for the Travis Etienne touchdown.
Oh, well, that was the one time effectively the offensive line did actually get some push. You know, inside, that was the whole inside the 5-yard line, make sure you score touchdowns. So it was good to see.
The Kansas City Chiefs have just beat the Cincinnati Bengals on a last-second. Harrison Butker was at a 51-yard field goal. Cincinnati drops to 0-2. So, again, in the entire AFC right now, you're looking at 4 teams that I believe are 2-0. Buffalo's 2-0. Kansas City's 2-0. The Chargers are 2-0, and Pittsburgh is 2-0. We'll see about Houston tonight. Everybody else, obviously, at 1-1 or 0-2. Coach, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. But I think the problem with losing today is Monday night at Buffalo. You've had their number in recent years. They're going to be probably fired up to see you on their home turf on Monday night. And then you go to Houston. I mean, the Jaguars are staring 0-4 in the face right now.
Yeah, I'm not as concerned with who we're playing as I am us. The way we're playing, we're not playing very well right now. They have to get that righted somehow, whether it's coaching, players, whatever it is, how they're practicing, as Leon talks about, what they're doing at night when they go home. Whatever it is, it's more about us because we have some players that are good enough to play in this league, and there's no reason to play as bad as we did today. I'm just shocked the way we play.
And, Coach, if you're on the defensive side of the ball, you got to be having conversations with their offense.
Yeah.
You have to because their ineffectiveness in this game, the way they played for the first 35, 40 minutes of this game, no productivity, 3 and outs, illegal procedures, mental breakdowns, physical breakdowns.
They were terrible at the end of Miami, too.
Absolutely. I mean, so if you're the defensive front, like we talked about, this defense overall, if you can assess the first 3.5 quarters, they played well enough to keep them in games.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To keep this team in games.
Right.
And then the offense lack of productivity is the reason why we're sitting here 0-2 right now. So if you're having those kind of conversations, if you're a defensive side of the guy, you got to have these conversations with the offensive side of the ball and say, hey, bro, y'all got to pick it up.
I mean,
you got to pick it up, bro.
30 points in 2 games, averaging 15 points a game.
What was the score at the end of the half? At the half?
For the Jaguars?
Yeah.
What was it?
13 to
3?
13 to 3?
Yeah. I'd have to go back and look. I know they were obviously down. I'll find it out here in a second. The score at the end of the first half was 13, end of quarter 2, 13 to 3.
Yeah, 13-3. So, you're in a situation there where even though neither team really played great during that period of time. The offense didn't play at all. The defense was on the field a lot, but they didn't give up a lot of points. So what you're saying is correct. You look at the defense, they kept us there to have a chance to win, but we're not following through on the offensive side of the ball at all.
641-1010 is the phone number if you want to get involved in the 5th quarter. This is probably maybe our last segment of calls. We'll try to squeeze a few more in towards the tail end, but if you want to get in, now would be the time. 641-1010. Let's go to the north side. Let's get Michael in here on 1010XL. Michael, what do you got?
What's going on, fellas? Yeah, in a nutshell, I mean, we had some Trevor Salem passes a little bit early, and then run game was kind of a little all over the place. But Monteric Brown should get the game ball. He was the only one out there going 100% the whole time. Defense not getting a whole lot of pressure, even though they, didn't allow too many points. My main thing was Cleveland was trying to give us the game at the end. I mean, penalty after penalty after penalty, giving us so many chances that we couldn't capitalize on anything. And then Doug's presser was weird. It kind of looked like the Urban Meyer one coming back from Cincinnati, just like staring around, short answers, with his hand in the cookie jar, just kind of looked odd. And then wants to snap at Gene. Gene's like, hey, I'm over here. And he's like, oh, I know where you're at, Gene. Meanwhile, he's staring off into the abyss. Gene doesn't know. So it's kind of weird. Something seems off. There's no moxie that we had back in 2022 and early last year, where if we got down, we thought we could have a chance to come back. So we'll see. Nothing new, so we'll just keep taking the pain. Have a good one.
Hey, Michael, appreciate the phone call. Yeah, I thought Doug's presser last Wednesday, he was a little – I mean, I use the term salty. I don't know what else to say, but he kind of – I think it was Gary Smits, my buddy Smith of the Times Union, asked him about, the play calling or the conservative nature of it or something along those lines. I don't want to speak out of turn, but it was something about that.
Yeah, he asked him if he got conservative in the
Yeah,
second half.
and Doug goes, well, you and I obviously saw much different games. Just things like that, things that you wouldn't normally expect Doug to say, he started saying. And that happened a few times last week and then today. I mean, look, it's probably taking its toll on him. I mean, the guy's 1-7 in the last 8. There was a lot of expectations on this team coming into the year, and they have completely flopped on his side of the ball. He's the offensive guy, and they're losing these games because of the offense. Yeah, and there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I think he's really struggling right now. There's no question about it. That presser after the game today was, he had no answers. And it's hard right after a ball game to kind of have a bunch of answers. But at the same time, you don't ever want to really – you don't want anybody to ever see you sweat. Mm-mm. Even when I made mistakes and stuff, I said, hey, I made a mistake on that one, but I'll guarantee you I'll get that straight away. Even when we were getting beat, I mean, you can't give your team any thought that you're not sure what we have to do to get it done, I guess is the best way to say it. And that's a little bit of a concern to me right now.
Let's go to the beaches. Let's get Harvey in here on 1010XL. Harvey, what's going on?
Yeah, hey, so, to me, Trevor is not identifying the mismatches at the line of scrimmage. Listen to Doug's comments after the game. We've simplified the offense as much as we can. That safety he took, he should have had a mismatch there, identified, and if he couldn't make the pass, throw it away. He's going to the line of scrimmage. He doesn't know what he's doing with the ball. Comment.
Appreciate the phone call. Yeah. Now, he didn't have a lot of time. I mean, that was a gangbuster blitz there. And
it wasn't even the gangbuster blitz.
Well, Cam got beat by Garrett, so Trevor had to step up. And then, you know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
And you're going to hate me for this?
Oh, goodness.
Reminded me of the AFC Championship game.
Oh, thanks, Hack.
With the Brunell sack in the end zone for the safety.
Well, that was just the guard not hearing the call and just...
Well, that maybe too. But, I mean, Brunell had to step up, and it literally, that reminded me of that.
The only difference between that is that was a breakdown in communications because the guard didn't hear the call. But if you watch the sack today, the defensive tackle split the center and the left guard. They were working a double team on him. And, Cam got beat around the corner, but that wasn't going to get the sack. The fact that he got the left guard in the center, just ripped through him like butter. That like a hot knife through butter. That's what got the safety.
There's no way he should have taken a sack at that particular time of the football game. He should have looked. He had to go. Just what the guy said. The guy's right. He had an idea by looking at the coverage where the ball had to go. Mm-hmm. When that guy wasn't covered, he should immediately have thrown the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
And again, I guess I am trying to defend him here, and I don't mean to. He's in the end zone. Grounding's a safety, right? He can't step out of the back.
No, you throw it where
the defensive tackle's on him 2 seconds after the ball got to him. The offensive line didn't do him any favors on that
No,
play.
He didn't do him any favors, but I'm telling you, he had time to get the ball off if he was.
Leon, I'm trying to defend you guys, man. I'm trying to defend the big uglies up front.
Don't defend me. Don't try to defend that.
Well, let's go to the state of Ohio. Check that. We're going to go to the state of Ohio in one moment. Leon, let's get one of your former teammates on. Double D, Donovan Darius joins us here on the fifth quarter on 1010XL. Donovan, how we doing?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on?
Hey, Donovan.
Donovan, we've been better, man. What are your thoughts?
Hey, man, just for me, kind of like three things. You guys already hit it, man. Number one, like you said, the offensive line. I think, hey, instead of giving Trevor the $275 million this year, they still have another year. Use that money, go out and get the offensive linemen. Allow him to grow with those guys so everybody's getting better. Number two, you go get a first-round draft choice, wide receiver who, ever since he stepped foot on, when the ball is in the air, whether it's training camp, preseason games, whatever, he always get it. So the fact that you're not – the NFL is about matchups, right? It's about matchups, me against you. And so for them not to really work him in the game and utilize the ability, why they got him, I think was a mismatch, okay, and it was a negative. And the last thing, and Serge can attest to this, leaders are leaders that do the stuff on the field and off the field, in the locker room and on the field. And so I don't really know who are our stand-up leaders that are more commanders of the standard. Okay, Trevor, he's going to do it by action, but he's not. He doesn't appear to be, at least from my understanding. I'm not in the locker room, and Sergi could probably attest a little more. We had guys that they commanded leadership and accountability because they did it first. They were consistent, so now they can expect more out of you. And I just don't really see that consistency. I don't know who's a vocal leader or who's that guy that's going to get it done. It just kind of seems more passive to me. Hey, we're going to deal with whatever comes. That's not the way Leon Sergi, Tony Baselli, Mark Brunell, myself, Kevin Hardy, Jerry Walker, that's not the way we did it. We did it on the field, and we also was able to do it in our locker room with command. And so, again, those are just a couple of things, man. I just think we got to take more advantage of a first-round pick because I was watching the game at the end there when they threw it to the guy Strange on the 7 cut. Number 7 was wide open on his quick out cut. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And if you know that, you take advantage of that. And so, again, growing pains, whatever, I just want the team, I want the Jaguars to do well, and it starts with leadership.
Donovan, appreciate the phone
Love you,
call.
man.
Yeah.
Love you, Double D.
Yeah, I love Double D. Absolutely. He's absolutely right. The leadership starts in the locker room. And it starts before you even play the games on Sunday. It's accountability in practice. You can't allow your teammates on either side of the ball, offensively or defensively, to have mistakes. We didn't allow guys to miss balls or break down the stuff. We would call them out. And you got to be man enough to accept it. If you're not doing them right in the practice, you're not doing it right during the practice, then how do we think you're going to play on Sunday? So we effectively made sure that everybody was accountable on both sides of the ball, and that's why we won so many games back in those days,
now,
because we had the proper leadership.
Let me ask both you guys this. The guys that could potentially do that are here for their first years. Mitch Morse, Eric Armstead, Ronald Darby, Darnell Savage. They're veterans in this league, but they're not veterans in that Jaguar locker room. They've been here 5 months. Can they step up, and will people listen to them because they've been here such a short amount of time?
No, but their accountability has to be reflective in the games that they play here. What you did back then don't matter to us. What are you doing right here within the Jacksonville Jaguars, the realm of this team, to make you a leader? You just don't get appointed a leader just because you played a certain amount of years. I got to see the reflection here in Jacksonville, and then that's when you assert yourself as a leader.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I can't say any more than that. I thought Double D hit it right on the head, and we've been talking about those things. You got a guy that runs a 4.3 40 that catches everything that's thrown, although he did drop one today.
Yeah, he did. It was like a 7-yard in route.
A slant, and that would have been a big play now. He would have had about 20 yards on that one.
Yeah.
But, listen, we can hit every guy. It just was a poor ball game, period. That's it.
Which is shocking after the way last week happened. They said all the right things coming in, and then they absolutely offensively laid an egg today.
I thought that they would have played a lot better today than they played.
2 more phone calls tonight, both James, one in Ohio, one in North Carolina. How about that? Let's go to the Ohio James here on 1010XL. James, what do you got?
Hey, afternoon, gentlemen. Look, Leon, go Canes. I don't know how you can top Double D there, but I have a quick question. Maybe Coach Campo and Leon can, reflect to this, but do you think Trevor's kind of losing confidence in the offensive play calling, the offensive system? I mean, he did make the comment in the presser how even the coaching needs to be better after he kind of pointed out every other position. And because you look at it, whether it's Doug Peterson, Preston Taylor, at this point, it really doesn't matter. But we haven't had a complete offensive game in well over a year and a half. I mean, last year we didn't have a complete offensive game at all, even at 83. And 22, there was games where we started sluggish. I mean, this team has been sluggish for over 2 years offensively. So what do you think is going through Trevor's mind, and what do you think they can do with the, quite honestly, awful offensive line? I mean, is there anything they can do to get a jump start in the offense with that?
James, appreciate the phone call. I would pump the brakes there 1 second. In that collapse last year, they scored against Cincinnati. I think they scored 31. They scored 27 against Cleveland. All right, so it's not as if the offense has been inept the entire time. Now, they have been bad the first two games here. I mean, what was it, 20 they put on Tennessee in Week 18, which is 20 points, right? I mean, that's not chopped liver. So it's not as if the offense has been pedestrian the entire time. Admittedly, though, these last 2 weeks have been very, very bad. So what do you think Trevor is losing confidence?
I have no idea.
Well,
go ahead, Coach.
No, go ahead.
No. I just he had a couple of overthrows in the game. I think he holds the ball way too long. With the least amount of protection that he's getting, you would think that he would get rid of the ball a lot sooner than the way he's been holding on to it. I mean, but like Coach said, if you don't have the proper protection in front of you, it really doesn't matter. We're not having the proper protection for Trevor.
I think he's frustrated. He's frustrated with himself. He's frustrated with the coaches. He got into a little bit of a contest with, it looked like, before the half about, how things were going, the urgency of getting plays called, the urgency of guys getting out of the huddle and getting to the line of scrimmage. I mean, those are things that I have no idea why that happened.
No, when you have to call 2 timeouts again, that is just absolutely ridiculous in professional football.
Yeah.
To save 2 delay of game penalties. Right. Last call of the night in right under the wire. James in North Carolina. James, you got about 60 seconds. What's going on?
Real quick. First of all, Leon, go Canes. Second, kind of piggyback what you guys were just saying as far as the delayed game penalties. Are they not getting the calls in fast enough to Trevor? Is Trevor not making the calls quick enough? I mean, it's so irritating for me to watch Patrick Mahomes to sit there with his fingers up as soon as the play's done. Give me the call. Give me the call.
Well, I can answer. First of all, from what I heard from what he said in the press conference was he mentioned communications. And one of the things he said, we're coming out of huddle and guys are asking me what the play was.
Yeah.
So somehow the play's getting in there too late, or they're not listening in the huddle, or he's not getting it out quick enough. There's something going on. It's communication. That's part of it, whether it's coming from the coaches or whether it's coming from the players.
Every week here on the 5th quarter, we do give you an injury update. That injury update here on the 5th quarter is brought to you by the law offices of Farah and Farah. RJ Saunders, let's do it now. The law offices of Farah bring you this week's injury update.
The personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah present this injury update. Farah and Farah,
Jacksonville,
exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Evan Ingram, hamstring and warm-ups. We don't know the severity yet, but Tyson Campbell's on IR with a hamstring, so we'll have to see. Tank Bigsby left the game with a shoulder, came back. Andre Sisco left the game with a groin, came back. Anton Harrison missed a couple of plays. I believe he came back. Gabe Davis' arm was dangling coming off the field with under a minute to go. You already were without Darnell Savage and Tyson Campbell. You're not going to have Campbell for the next month at least. And we're 2 games in, and that's the Farah and Farah injury update. It is massive right now, no question about it. We'll come back, and as only Leon Searcy can do, and as only really Coach Campo can do, we'll try to end on a positive note. We'll give something positive to think about as we head into Monday Night Football next week up in Orchard Park, taking on the 2-0 Buffalo Bills. Back to wrap it up, the Window World of Northeast Florida 5th quarter, presented by Von Rowan Law, and again live, Island Girls Cigar Bar on Gate Parkway. We'll be here once a month for the 5th quarter. Come on out, get your hands on all sorts of great cigars, beverages, including, of course, Leon Searcy's Big Sirs and Little Sirs. His cigars are in stock for you here at Island Girls Cigar Bar on Gate Parkway.
You already know it's your boy E to the T, and winning season is back. Football is back, and my bookie is here, baby, to make sure you're ready to cash in on all the action. This season, my bookie is pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions like weekly risk-free boost on Thursdays, where you can bet without a sweat. If your bet hits, you win big. If it doesn't, forget about it. MyBookie will refund you your wages, but that's just the beginning. MyBookie is giving away hundreds of thousands in prizes with their Super Survivor and their Square contest. Get your entries in now for your shot to win huge cash rewards. For a limited time, they're bringing back the double deposit bonus. When you're ready to get started, use my promo code 1010XL to claim your bonus that doubles your money. Double your cash, my boy, with that promo code 1010XL before you place every bet. And now loyalty pays off. With MyBookie, the more you play, the more you win. It's simple. MyBookie is the lock of the century. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, and make this season your winning season. Come on, somebody.
Homeowners, good news for you. Accent on 4. Listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Prosser here. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted. So low, we haven't seen them in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.99% APR. So whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Call 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Owner approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
Lickety Split AC Plumbing and Electric is now hiring. If you have a 5-star mentality to provide world-class custom plumbing or electrical solutions, you should work with Lickety Split. Their team is incredibly supportive, positive, and dedicated to being the best. If you have a valid driver's license with at least 18 months of experience, apply at Lickety Split, an equal opportunity employer offering competitive pay, a service truck, and a $5,000 sign-on bonus. Hiring management positions too. Visit licketysplitfl.com.
Follow the Canes as they storm the ACC.
I'm 1010XL's JJ LaSelva, and every week I'll bring you the Miami news and notes you need to know.
The Performance Painting Hurricane Report on 1010XL. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Universal Roof and Contracting has been protecting Florida homes from the elements for over 30 years. Call Universal Roof and Contracting today for a free roof inspection and get 15% off your roof repair or replacement. Plus, flexible financing options and payments as low as $115 a month. This offer expires September 30th. Call 855-ROOF-HELP.
License number CCC 1330747, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. Injured in an accident that's not your fault? Don't worry, Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan at Von Rowan Law, and over the past 20 years, I have fought to recover millions for my clients throughout Jacksonville. If you've been injured in an accident, have mounting medical bills, can't work, don't worry. Zach's got your back. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve and will be there every step of the way. Go to Zach'sGotYourBack.com to set up your free consultation with me today. Zach'sGotYourBack.com.
Everything about the game has changed, except for the most important thing. What you have inside. It is what drives the game. It refuses to be ignored. It sweats everything, turns an athlete into a legend. Gatorade, is it in you?
From Gatorade Zero to Gatorade Endurance Formula and Gator Light, there's something for every athlete. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. It's a win-win. Gatorade, official partner of the NFL.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
From Island Girls Cigar Bar on Gate Parkway.
This is the window world of Northeast Florida 5th quarter. Presented by Von Rowan Law.
On 1010XL.
All right, putting a wrap on a disappointing Sunday here in Duval County. Cleveland 18, Jacksonville 13. The Jaguars 0-2. Monday Night Football next week. They travel to Buffalo. National TV. Oh, hope it's a better performance than what we saw today. Final thoughts. We'll start with the head coach, Dave Campo. Coach, your reaction to an 0-2 start here in Jacksonville?
Well, I've been there. You know, we were 0-2 one of the years we won the Super Bowl. And the one thing that, I can remember back then was everybody, I can remember Coach saying, Jimmy Johnson saying, he pointed to every player in the locker room after the ball game. He pointed at each guy, at the meeting after the game. He pointed at every guy and he said, "Are you doing everything for us to win? Are you doing everything, whatever?" And to me, I've seen it happen. We've got to get something going in that locker room and go to this football game.
Leon Searcy, as only you can, give us some positivity.
Well, the bandwagon is empty. All we have is us. That's got to be the sentiment in the locker room. All we have is us. We're no longer the media darlings. Everybody's counted us out. I want to see how you're going to respond to it. I want to see if this team has any resolve and can turn this thing around.
Leon, have a great week. XL Primetime tomorrow, 2 o'clock. We'll have you on Hacker After Dark later on in the week as well.
You got it.
For Leon Searcy, the Pro Bowler, the head coach Dave Campo, you and I coaching with Campo tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
Always appreciate the head coach Dave Campo. Andrew Gibson was your on-site engineer tonight. RJ Saunders making it all happen back at 1010XL headquarters. The window world of Northeast Florida, 5th quarter. We have been presented by Von Rowan Law. Thank you to Island Girls Cigar Bar right here on Gate Parkway. We'll be here once a month for the 5th quarter. Come get your hands on Leon Searcy cigars, but the small cigars, the big cigars, they are back in stock, and they are absolutely fantastic. Island Girl Cigar Bar, Gate Parkway. There's a good chance when you come up here that either Leon Searcy, myself, or both of us might be here as well.
More than likely.
This is a watering hole for Leon and I, no question about that.
We need to pay rent.
And if we have another game like today, I'll be over here with you guys.
1010XL live coverage tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Jeff Prosser will be in studio. That'll be interesting. And we will kick off 16 hours of local programming. I'll talk to you tomorrow night on Hacker After Dark. Until then, have a terrific Sunday evening, Jacksonville.
Get excited.